Hi, welcome to server side. In this video, we will exploit a vulnerable machine called Funbox Rookie using Kali Linux in VirtualBox. Let's get started. Right now in VirtualBox, as you can see, this is the Kali Linux attacker machine, and down below is the vulnerable machine Funbox 2 or Funbox Rookie. Now let's put both of these machines in the same network. To do that, go to Settings, Network, and attach the network adapter to network. Do this to both of these machines. What this basically does is it puts both of these machines in the same subnet, which allows them to communicate with each other. Now let's start these machines. Okay, both of our machines have been launched, and right now I'm in the command terminal of Kali Linux attacker machine. First of all, let's see the network configurations of this attacker machine, and the command to do that is ifconfig. Okay, you can see the IP address here, which is 10.0.2.15, net mask, and the broadcast as well. As we know, both of this attacker and vulnerable machines are in the same subnet. Let's scan the whole subnet using a very powerful network scanning tool, nmap, to find the IP address of the vulnerable machine. The command to do that is nmap -sn 10.0.2.0/24. Here SN stands for ping scan, and 10.0.2.0/24 is the subnet. What this command basically does is it looks for all the active hosts in this subnet. Okay, we can see all the active hosts here. 10.0.2.1 is the gateway. 10.0.2.15 is the attacker machine, and 10.0.2.35 is the vulnerable machine here. Now what we'll do is we'll scan the vulnerable machine once again using nmap to find more details about this vulnerable machine. The command to do that is nmap -A 10.0.2.35. Here A stands for aggressive scan, and 10.0.2.35 is the vulnerable machine. What this command does is it looks for all these open ports in this vulnerable machine. It also scans for the operating system of this vulnerable machine and the services it uses and its versions. Okay, the scanning is complete, and we can see we've got 3 ports open here: port 21, port 22, and port 80. Port 80 is used for hosting websites. Port 22 is used to create connection between 2 hosts, which will help to control a host from the remote location, and port 21 is used to transfer files between 2 hosts. Now if we look here in port 21, here's a message and it says anonymous FTP login allowed. What this basically could mean is that we can log into this FTP server using anonymous login credentials. That means we'll use user ID as anonymous and password as anonymous. Let's do that. Opening a new tab here. Okay, the command to connect to our FTP server is FTP and the IP address of that machine, which is 10.0.2.35 in our case. Okay, it's asking me for the username. Here we enter anonymous. Now password will enter anonymous once again. Okay, we are logged in. Now let's look at the files that are in this directory of this FTP server, and the command to do that is ls. Okay, we can see bunch of files here. Most of them are zip files, and if we look at the file names, then they are the names of people. They could probably be the username of these machines. And we can also see another type of file here. Its name is welcome.msg. So let's download a few of these files in our local machine and open it to see the contents inside those files. Let's download welcome.msg for now. The command to do that is get welcome.msg. Okay, the file has been downloaded in our local machine. Let's download another file as well. Let's download tom.zip. The command is get tom.zip. Okay, these two files have been downloaded to our local machine. So let's create a new tab once again. Now let's see those downloaded files. Welcome.msg file is here. tom.zip file is here. First of all, let's open welcome.msg file to see the contents inside it. The command to do that is get welcome.msg. Okay, the file is open, but there is not many useful information in this file. So what we'll do is we will unzip tom.zip file to see the content inside that file. The command to unzip tom.zip file is unzip tom.zip. It's asking for the password, but we do not know the password to unzip this file. So let's cancel this step. What we'll do is we will extract the hash of this zip file using the utility of John the Ripper zip2john. This utility extracts the hash from a password protected zip file. The command to do that is zip2john tom.zip greater than tom.hash. Here tom.zip is the zip file that we're trying to extract the hash, and tom.hash file is the file that will be created with the hash inside it once the hash gets extracted from this zip file. Okay, the hash has been extracted. Let's see if the file has been created. Okay, tom.hash file has been created here. Now let's use John the Ripper, a very powerful password cracking tool, to crack the password of this hash file. And the command to do that is John tom.hash wordlist equals to user share wordlist rockyou.txt. Here tom.hash is the hash we are trying to crack, and wordlist is the dictionary which has lots of passwords in it. So let's enter, and the password has been cracked, and the password for the zip file tom.zip is iubire. Now let's use this password to unzip this file. Let's unzip it. Unzip tom.zip. Let's enter the password here, iubire, which is this one. enter. Okay, the password worked, and unzipped file has been named as idrasa. So let's see if the file is present there in this directory. Yeah, idrasa has been created here. Let's open this file to see what's inside. Cat idrasa. Okay, it's a private key. So what we'll do now is, if you remember at the beginning, we had port 22 open here. Port 22 is an SSH server. This will help us to create connection between our local machine and the vulnerable machine. So let's use this idrasa, this private key, to log into this machine using SSH server. To do that, let's open a new terminal, new tab once again. The command to connect to this vulnerable machine using SSH server is ssh tom@10.0.2.35 -i idrasa. Here tom is the username that I'm guessing, because the name of the zip file was tom.zip, and 10.0.2.35 is the IP address of this vulnerable machine, and I stands for identity file, which is the private key, and the name of our private key is idrasa. So let's enter this command to see if we'll be logged into this vulnerable machine. Okay, you can just press yes here. Okay, we are successfully logged in. Now our next step is to get the root access, but first of all, let's see if there are any files in this directory. Okay, this directory is empty. Now let's change our directory to etc folder. Unfortunately, we are not being able to change our directory to etc folder. This user we are logged in as does not have the permission to change the directory. So now what we'll do is, let's see if there are any hidden files in this directory. The command to look at the hidden files is la. Okay, we've got some hidden files here, and among these hidden files, the one that interests me is my SQL history here. This file should contain the MySQL commands and queries that were entered in this machine before. So let's open this file and see the content inside it. Okay, the command is cat.mysql history. Okay, we have opened the file and we can see the contents here. If you look here to the second last line, we've got our username here, which is Tom, and we have potentially got the password as well. So what we'll do is, let's copy this for now, and let's try to gain the root access using this password. So the command to get the root access is sudo su. Now let's paste the password here, hit enter. Okay, we have successfully got the root access as well. Let me clear my screen. Okay, as we can see here, the username is root. If you want to see the username once again, you can type this command, whoami, and the username is root. Now our task is to find the final flag. and most of the time the flags are always kept in root directory. So let's go to root directory. Okay, we are in a root directory. Now let's see if there is a flag file in here. Yes, we've got flag.txt file here. Let's open this flag file. And we have successfully captured this flag. In this way, we have exploited Funbox rookie vulnerable machine. If you like this video, please do hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be back with new video very soon.